We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they could send us to the morgue. We are the ones who attempt to walk out the door. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. Get off this fucking ass. Love that makes you know. Can't fucking breathe. Love that makes you know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of I'm No Joe, your home for all things combat sports and the place where every armchair quarterback can feel like Ben Bronco. The views and opinions presented on the I'm No Joe channel belong solely to the person expressing them, no one else. If we say it, that means we meant it. That being said, this show does contain adult themes, adult content, and general shit that you shouldn't be letting your kids intake. Be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. Proceed at your own risk. You've been warned. If it's Sunday, what did I say? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the latest episode of the What Did I Say show, the show where I hold us accountable for all the shit talking we did on the I'm No Joe podcast this past Thursday and bring you all the recaps of all the craziness in the combat sports world that went down since we saw you fine folks last. So, first and foremost, I think it only appropriate in honor of Nate Diaz's newfound freedom, we start this right. $209 motherfuckers, Nate Diaz is officially a free man. All right. So with that out of the way, Um, we're going to start this backwards and work forwards here since BKFC actually ran later than the UFC card did. Now, there's a reason I did not talk about the BKFC Montana 2 card on the Thursday show. There just honestly was not a whole lot to get excited about on that card. Realistically, the co-main event, excuse me, the co-main event, because of Joe Riggs, not because of fucking Dryers, douchebag. But and then the main event because the belt and because of the craziness going on with the belt. I really wanted to shit on that card, but overall, it really wasn't bad. There wasn't a whole lot of names anyone would recognize, but the fights were actually pretty damn decent. Until, ironically enough, you get to the co-main event where Dyer fucking headbutts Joe Riggs in the face. And according to our man on the ground, Dylan, who was in the crowd so loud that you could hear it throughout the stands. And Joe Riggs, being the fucking tough son of a bitch that he is, wanted to keep continuing, but they made the very correct decision in not letting him do that and calling the fight a no contest. I still think it should have been a DQ. You could see Dyer line up and like NFL style launch into him with the headbutt, in my opinion, but they did take a picture at the bar. Apparently cool after the fact when the fights were all said and done. So that's cool. Part of the sportsmanship we love about combat sports. And then the main events. Holy shit. Again, we said it on Thursday. I'm not a fan of Carissa Segala in any way, shape, or form. But props for taking a fucking fight on short notice, a weight class down from where she normally fights. She went in there and she gave it hell. She came out looking like a cheap horror movie with blood just running down both eyes. Britain Hart basically came out of that fight completely fucking unscathed. I think we at the end of the fight she had one little red mark under one eye. Nose was a little bit red, but she looked like she hadn't even been in a fight at the end of the night. So I think she absolutely deserved that belt. I do think the smart move for the BKFC organization, though, would be to figure out what the fuck happened with 3 days to go before your fight with your original girl that was going to fight for the belt and get her lined up for the next match. Otherwise, they better put on another big fight to get the number one contender and make them known, because otherwise Britain Hart is going to just dominate 115, it seems like. And good for her. She absolutely deserves it. She's been through some fucking hell getting her way there. So good on her. War Beltran. That being said, that will bring us backwards. Oh, let me see. Let me pull the card itself up here. So, first and foremost, 279 was cursed, in my opinion. The MMA gods gave us some of the fights we wanted, but at what cost? Literally, at what cost? This card got completely fucked. Excuse me. We did a short re-update show last night, just to update you on all the changes that had happened literally since Thursday evening. And even then, we couldn't even go over Thursday evening all the crazy shit that had happened Thursday afternoon. We kind of recapped all of that leading into 279 on the recap show, or the update show rather. We did quick little deal on Friday. Tapology stream obviously was live during the fights yesterday. But even the opening fights of this fucking card, Darian Weeks basically outworked Johan Lyonnaise for 3 solid rounds, and for some reason the judges gave it to Lyonnaise right out of the gate, starting with some fuckery afoot. On a card like this, like, it's almost to be expected, but god damn it, really? Like, fucking really? Yeah, no, that's exactly what we got though. That being said, first ladies fight of the evening. Super Mel Melissa Martinez making her debut against Elise Reed. Fucking spectacular fight. Way better than I think anyone anticipated it to actually end up being. They both absolutely came in there ready for fucking war. Galti and I were watching this together, talking about it. I don't think either one of those ladies loses any stock. Martinez making her fucking debut look like an absolute fucking G, and Reed in there to just, stump the fucking debut of the new girl absolutely came for fucking war and was bringing hell with her. It was fucking spectacular fight, in my opinion. Ann Helliger versus Alatong Haley, excuse me. Um, and Helliger was in trouble from the very beginning of that goddamn fight. Like, he was clearly out fucking matched from the jump. He is tough. I will give him fucking credit. He is tough as shit. But man, did he get the shit beat out of him by Alatong Haley. And then we get our, excuse me, the early premier prelim fight. Norma Dumont versus Danielle Wolf, featherweight ladies action. Danielle Wolf making her long-awaited UFC debut, was originally supposed to fight Felicia like 2 years ago. That got scrapped. Everything got all mixed up. Danielle Wolf, despite the mix-up we had earlier, former Olympic boxer, came in looking noticeably bigger than Norma Dumont, who, ironically enough, we talked about, generally looks noticeably bigger than most of the ladies that she's fought at 145 pounds. And for whatever reason, decided that she was going to stand in there and she was going to outbox the Olympic boxer. And I'll be damned if she didn't give it fucking hell. Danielle Wolf just was not ready for MMA boxing, and it was kind of clear. Her traditional boxing was definitely there, but we talked about this in our group chat while it was happening. She was hanging her jab out, like you see in boxing a lot of times, hanging the jab out there too long instead of snapping it back to guard the face. And Norma Dumont was taking advantage of almost every single time and just fucking cracking her for it. Um, damn good fight. Damn good fight. Norma Dumont actually showing some serious fucking skill. So damn good fight indeed. Then, boys and girls, we get the real fucking ignition for the kettle of fuel that was 279. Jake Collier versus Chris Barnett. Holy shit. Collier came to fucking bang, man. He caught Barnett clean with some seriously fucking massive shots in round one, and arguably the fight probably could have been stopped realistically at several different points through that first round. And luckily for them, it was not, because second round, Chris Barnett comes out a different man and just puts the fucking business to Jake Collier, ends up stopping him. Just incredible fucking comeback tenacity. Ironically enough, there was something happening with Chris Barnett's jaw. They mentioned it on the broadcast. We were talking about it in our group chat. It almost looked, they mentioned on the broadcast, they thought it might have been something to do with nerves, but it almost looked more like a Bell's palsy kind of syndrome, similar to what Thor the Mountain had happened, where literally half of his face just lost control and was drooping and sagging, and it was very strange. And then the doctor comes in to check the little cut under his eye that had been amplified by some swelling of that eye in between rounds, and didn't even mention the thing that's happening with his jaw while the doctor's there looking at him. So that was a little bit strange, to say the least. But fucking Huggy Bear, man, Beast Boy came out and just showed fucking hella tenacity, and then cut one of the best fucking promos ever in his post-fight speech with Joe Rogan, after, of course, the traditional front flip that everyone has grown to expect and love at this point. Fucking Barnett's a badass, man. He might have been one of my favorite acquisitions the UFC has made in the last couple of years. So he's a fucking fun dude to watch, and he's a badass fighter. So it's cool to see him fucking get a good win like that. Then we got Dennis Tululian versus Jamie Pickett. Um, Jamie Pickett came out like a Ferrari, gas pedal down, ready to give it hell, and then just fucking wilted. Just absolutely fucking wilted under pressure. Tululian just put it on him and really had the bassist wasn't doing anything spectacular, wasn't doing anything outlandish or extraordinary, just was sticking to the basics and being beautiful at the fundamentals and shut Pickett the fuck down. So Pickett absolutely deserved that fucking L in our opinion as a group while we were talking about that. So good on Tululian for that hard fought fucking win. And then I think for the most part at least pretty much everyone thought that Jailton Almeida was going to remain undefeated and work his way through. I don't know if anyone thought it was going to go quite as smoothly as it did. Um, Credit to Anton Turkali, but he was not equipped for the task that he signed up for, and that became very, very apparent really early on in that fight. Unfortunately for him, Jailton Almeida is a fucking monster. Again, they were at another fucking catchweight, so he hasn't actually been down to like true 205. He hasn't had to fight any like true 265, like completely outclassing him, I don't believe. But he's been a perfect example of why we need another weight class in between light heavyweight and heavyweight, because he's right in that middle ground and he's taken all comers on either side of it. But realistically, that dude's not big enough to take on like a serious Francis Ngannou size 265 big time heavyweight, in my opinion. But then again, the way he's been rolling through, he could prove me wrong. And the next time they give him a fucking monster and he handles that too, we'll see. That being said, good fucking Lord, that dude is on a hell of a tear. So it is going to be very interesting to see what they do with him going forward. Now, normally we don't advocate for the weight missers. In this premier prelim fight, Hakeem Dawodu came in 3.5 pounds technically over with the 1 pound allotment, but 4.5 pounds over, 148.5 or 149.5. Julian Erosa made weight, but going into this just didn't really seem to have the momentum or have at least displayed enough to give a lot of faith in him having the ability to come in here and just absolutely pressure somebody like Hakeem Dawodu to death and just absolutely hold the whole goddamn thing down and take over. But sure the fuck enough, he absolutely did. The pressure that he went in and put on Hakeem Dawodu just completely stifled his entire game plan, and he absolutely got himself that W. Some of the judging that went on last night, again, I know that we had two, maybe three of the top five fuck up judges in the MMA world all present on the card, so it's going to be expected, but oof. Oofta, oofta indeed. Excuse me. Damn, excuse me. So that'll bring us into the main card. Johnny Walker versus Ian Cutelaba. Just when you think Ian Cutelaba has not made enough of a fool of himself, Johnny Walker comes in and just manhandles him. 437 is what they called it officially. One arm guillotine against the fucking canvas. As I was talking about it to the group, that he had the guillotine, but he only had one arm, that he could lean against the canvas for the pressure that the other arm would create inevitably. And he does, literally as I was fucking saying it, and gets the tap. Just beautiful. Love when it fucking plays out like that. It doesn't always, but I love when it does. Props to Johnny Walker for a beautiful submission. Still interesting to see that allegedly the UFC security kicked Johnny Walker and John Kavanagh out onto the street as soon as the fight was over. Johnny literally still had his gloves on and had not put his shoes on. They apparently would not let Johnny Walker change and put them out on the street. Dana tried to say some shit that they would never kick Johnny Walker and John Kavanagh out, but we now have live video that we've seen from multiple sources that it actually happened. So it's going to be interesting to see what the fuck the story there actually was when it's all said and done. But props to Johnny on an interesting W. Then we get one of the craziest fights of the evening. And I don't like to take credit every time things happen, but I kind of feel like this is one of those situations where by telling everyone how not important this fight was, the MMA gods sprinkled a little bit of extra flavor on it for us. Because no one, and I mean absolutely no one, could have predicted the fight was going to end the way that it did. And B, Irene Aldana is a goddamn liar in saying that she trained for the maneuver that stops the fight in her gym all the time. Shut the fuck up, you lying motherfucker. I don't believe you for a fucking second. Now, credit where credit is due, as it were. Irene Aldana was on her back and threw a heel kick backwards, almost bicycle kick, like a half a bicycle kick, basically. She threw one foot out and brought it back, and when she brought it back, the heel of her foot caught Macy Chiasson directly in the liver and just shut her the fuck down. Now, the angle that it was thrown at and the position that it was thrown from, there is no fucking way in hell they train that in their gym. That is just a bold-faced fucking lie until you show me multiple different verified age tracked fucking videos of them doing this from their gym. I will not fucking believe that. You fuck all the way off with that bullshit. That's just trying to sound fucking clever when the microphone's put in your face, and I don't fucking believe it. That's a fucking lie in my opinion. So prove me wrong, bitch. That being said, that'll bring us to the first of the big three shakeups that top the UFC 279 card, out with the People's Co-Main event, as it were, the first of the three big shaken up fights. Li Jingliang versus Daniel Rodriguez at a catch weight of 180 pounds. Although we all know Li Jingliang weighed in at 170 pounds to originally be fighting against Tony Ferguson, while Daniel Rodriguez weighed in at 179.7, I believe, in his originally scheduled catch weight fight of 180 pounds. So Li Jingliang was the only one out of anyone who took these switched matchups here who was outweighed, and he was outweighed by, I believe, 7.5 pounds by the time it was all said and done. So props to Li Jingliang more than anyone else of the six who accepted the new shaken up matchups, in my opinion, for taking that gangster ass fucking knowing he was going uphill position and still fucking going out to do it. Hats off to fucking Li Jingliang. That being said, he came out there and put pressure on Daniel Rodriguez like Daniel Rodriguez has clearly never seen before, and it was stuttering his fucking striking patterns quite a bit. He was doing more. I will say that the strikes that Rodriguez was landing were clearly having bigger impacts, The problem is that Li Jingliang was landing more volume. It was almost a Max Holloway-esque kind of technique where it's not trying to land the one big shot. If I land 70 regular shots, then they will add up to what would have been one big shot, and at the same time keep you too flustered to try and land your own big shot. And it worked. D-Rod was having a hard time getting the timing down. He was having a hard time landing multiple shots. When he did land, it was big and it would make an impact, but he could hardly landed a lot of combos and he couldn't follow up on a lot of what he did. But I know in this fight, we had two of the big five judges on that traditional card, or on that card judging rather, in this situation, that traditionally we would hope to have at least only one of them. And as you can guess, with two of the fuckhead judges involved, they gave the decision to Daniel Rodriguez. And credit to D-Rod. We are big fans of Rodriguez here on the show, but I don't think that he won that goddamn fight. The commentators didn't seem to think he won that fight. Nobody that I was watching the fights with seemed to really think that he won that fight. I can see how the bad judging would get you to that decision, but I still do not think he actually won the fight. Props to D-Rod, but I don't think he should be using the catch weight last minute switch up 10-pound advantage fight that he just had against Lee in that controversial decision to be talking shit about Kevin Holland like he was in the post-fight press conference. It felt a little bit weird and a little disingenuous. That being said, the new co-main event, catch weight 180-pound matchup between Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev. Kind of to the surprise of literally no one that I'm aware of, Khamzat Chimaev blitzkrieged straight out of the fucking gate and literally went directly at a takedown and wrestle fucked Kevin Holland to the ground, wrapped him up, and then choked him the fuck out in what they're officially calling 2 minutes and 13 seconds. That's kind of exactly what everyone thought was going to happen. But with all the bullshit that's going on, it's going to be real interesting to see what Khamzat has going forward here, because he seemingly has gone full heel, and not like Colby Covington where it was clearly fake. Like Khamzat's gone like legitimate real deal heel here. And I don't like it. Like, it's going to be real hard for me to root for him going forward here, because it seems like they're almost giving him no punishment for all the bullshit that happened over the course of the weekend, and I don't like that as well. So congrats on a quick submission win, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That was fucking weird. That being said, though, that'll bring us to the main event of the evening. Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson for 5 rounds at welterweight, since both of them made 171 fucking pounds. There's one thing that cannot be denied, and that is that Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson are two of the most unique fighters the UFC may have ever signed, period. I think the best way that I can describe what this fight kind of felt like was when the two quiet, weird kids in high school would get into a fight over a, a pen or something trivial, and it just got awkward as fuck because neither one of them really seemed to know exactly what they were doing, but both of them were kind of effective at what they were doing, if that makes sense. Neither one of them really seemed to be quote unquote traditionally fighting, as it were. Tony really wanted to land a spinning back elbow on Nate. But Nate was not going to be outdone in the theatrics department. He did his patented put his hands on his knees like he was out of breath multiple times. At one point, he went all the way to the edge of the cage and just hung his arms up on the edge of the cage, and turned away from Tony completely. It was a very, very weird fight. Excuse me. But then comes round 4. And round 4, it went from serious theatrics to serious oh shit real quick. And basically Nate cracked Tony good, and he felt it immediately, and you could tell. And for whatever reason, Tony got it in his brain that meant he should try and take Nate down right now. And no setup, didn't try and hide it, and it was sloppy and it was ugly. And in predictable Nate Diaz fashion, Nate saw it coming and grabbed his goddamn neck. And when they went to the ground, he fucking cranked it down. And as Tony went to tap, in the fashion that only Nate Diaz could, with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock at 2:51 in the 4th round, Nate Diaz throws the middle finger, gives the what, and stands up officially a free man with a submission victory in his final UFC fight ever. Potentially. Because it got weird, both in the in-ring and the actual post-fight press conference. There was a whole lot of Nate Diaz being nice and kissing ass seemingly to the UFC, and talking about after he goes to take over another sport the way Conor tried to but couldn't, he's going to come back and get a UFC title because the UFC is the best organization in the world, and he thanks the UFC for the opportunities that they've given him and all that they've helped him become. And it got real weird, to say the least. But again, Nate Diaz is now officially a free man. His UFC contract is done, and now his watch has ended, as it were. Interesting. No fight of the night bonus, but multiple performance of the night bonuses. Nate Diaz got a performance of the night bonus, which I get it. Irene Aldana got a performance of the night bonus, which I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever. Johnny Walker got a performance of the night bonus that I absolutely agree with, especially because of the fucking Uber tab I'm sure he's gonna have afterwards. Jailton Almeida got a performance of the night bonus as well. 5 performances of the night, no fight of the night. It's, I don't know. And then Dana's post fight was fucking weird as well. The whole thing just, it was awkward, man. It was real fucking awkward. But that being said, that is all we've got for the combat of this past weekend. Stay tuned this Thursday coming up for the newest episode of the I'm No Joe podcast and our first matchup in the semifinals of the Pit Grand Prix. The actual matchup itself will be announced this coming week in the next day or two. But that is all we've got for the Punchy Kicky. We will see you hopefully Thursday night over on the I'm No Joe YouTube channel, 9:30-ish Central Time. YouTube.com/I'm No Joe. Obviously, if you're seeing this, you know that because this video and the weekend videos do not, but the regular I'm No Joe videos do go up to all audio format the week after they go live. Anchor.fm/I'm No Joe, your podcast consumption platform of choice, can pick those up there if you so see fit. If you'd like to help out what we do around here, Best way to do that, patreon.com/I'mNoJoe. For as little as $1 a month, you get your name as a thank you on the end of every video we do here on the channel, as well as giving you access to the unaired and the literally unairable menagerie of nonsense and the cacophony we have of fuckery that OnlyFans couldn't handle. Patreon's more than happy to. So you get access to that, you get your name and the thank you, and you just help us do what we do. That being said, if you like what we do, make sure your notifications are turned on whatever platform you are consuming the I'm No Joe thing in. Make sure you got us subscribed if that is an option, and thumbs up if you are able to. We appreciate it. On the other side of that coin, though, if you don't like what we do around here, first and foremost, what the fuck are you still doing this deep into a podcast you didn't enjoy? Give us a thumbs down and then go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That being said, it's all we've got for this particular episode. Words for this particular episode. So until next time, folks, remember, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything, unless it's no thumbs on a live show.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye?